Greetings and welcome to Zord's Aerial Space Program, Episode 2. Today we're going to go higher and faster than we did before. And who knows, we might even get lucky and get to space. But first, we're going to try this high-speed aircraft. And I mean high speed because after 25 seconds or so, we have broken the sound barrier. So this is significantly more progress than last episode. High dynamic pressure. Hopefully we won't explode. So this aircraft is a completely new design. It uses the other kind of jet engine, and while they are supposed to work in the range Mach 2 to 10, I find them fully capable at Mach half. So we're test flying some supersonic aircraft here, and we have good altitude and we have good speed. The problem you're going to encounter while flying at this speed is that you basically can't turn. This is 4 times time acceleration in this footage, and we're not turning very quickly, so I'm really trying to lose speed so that we can turn back to base, because we've basically proven that this design works. It flies, and it flies fast. So now we want to get back. And well, now we already pointed it in the right direction, so now we can use full power and we'll be there in a jiffy. So after flying straight for a little while, we want to try and land, and as you can see, we're still having the sound barrier effects, and we're traveling, well, very fast. So there's just no way I can land it on this pass. The problem with this aircraft is slowing down rather than speeding up. Okay, so we're gonna do another pass. And whoa! Okay. Can I save it? Can I save it? Come on. And no. Catastrophic failure. Okay, now we at least know that. Fortunately, that was just a simulation, and Jebediah is back in the seat of this completely new. This is a redesign. It is equipped with rocket fuel and a rocket engine, an aerospike engine, and those weird-looking winglets in front of the air take. Well, Farron said they would work. I don't know if I agree. It's not very stable. Well, so let's try go to space. This is equipped at least to... Okay, there they go. Well, we'll just have to do without them, won't we? As I said, this thing is meant to go to space. If we're lucky, we can get into an orbit. But for now, we should just see how far it goes, really. So a major difference between this aircraft and the one we saw just a few seconds ago is that this one is a lot heavier. I mean, one of those central tanks is 4.5 tons. That's 8 tons of rocket fuel that we didn't have before. And it carries significantly less jet fuel, because where are we going to put it? So I replaced the engine nacelles with fuel tanks. There wasn't really a good reason to have the nacelles to begin with, but now we can't do without the jet fuel. So we're trying to get the altitude 10,000 to 12,000 meters, and we're trying to accelerate to as high a speed as possible. And we're about to run out of fuel, so this will have to do Mach 2.2 or something. So we switch over to the rocket engine, and now we need to get up out of the atmosphere as fast as possible. And with a little bit of stalling, we can still keep it under control, but we are making very good progress to space. So now we need to get out of the dense part of the atmosphere, or what we already have, but we need to make sure we don't get back. So we need to make sure our apoapsis is at, well, about the upper edge of the atmosphere. I usually over 70 kilometers, just to be safe. 60, a bit more, and need to keep an eye on the fuel. And we don't have a lot of fuel. This is a bit worrying, but we'll see how far it goes. There, 70. Now even the small amount of drag we're going to encounter shouldn't be a problem. So we have almost the entire rear tank full of fuel. We don't have any RCS or anything, and no solar panels either, now that I'm think about it. So we're just gonna have to do without. So orbit, we want an orbit. That's a lot of delta V. I hope this amount of fuel we have can do it. So well, there's only one way to find out. Well, except calculating it. But what's the fun in that? So we're a bit behind on the node. We should have started to burn earlier. This aircraft, I mean, it still has a very good acceleration. We're pushing almost 2 Gs, but it's not enough. And we're significantly behind the apoaps, which is bad because then we're falling. So, well, okay, we're almost out of fuel. But, okay, there we go. Hey, we got a periapse. So that means we did get into orbit, just not a stable one. But that's a very good progress for the first test flight. So let's try again with a slightly tweaked design. I have put struts on those extra winglet bits. If they do what Ferev says they should do, it should be an advantage to keep them on. So we're gonna try again. And there the first one goes. Right. Okay, we need to get the second one off, because this is not stable. So there we go. Thank you. I mean, it's bad to lose them, but it's much worse to lose just one of them. So let's try again, shall we? We get up to altitude, and we don't quite have the same speed as last time. I don't know why, but we try anyway. So we switch on rocket engine, and whoa, we're getting some stalling there, but we need to point the nose up. Okay, large scale side slip, large scale stall it says, and large angle of attack / side slip. And yeah, this is not working for some reason. It just flails all over the place, and even when I am pointing in the right direction, it just doesn't work. Well, I would suspect that this reason that it doesn't work is low speed. Okay, now we're truly screwed. Okay, so that didn't work at all. Let's try something different. I'm beginning to suspect this design may not actually be as good as I hoped it would be. But now we have replaced those stupid winglets with these slightly less stupid winglets on the end of the wings. I mean, an aircraft could look like this. So I have much higher hopes for this design. And also the positive aerodynamic qualities of the winglets should persist until we actually need them. So here we are about to do the transition into space mode, but we have some problems. I accidentally pushed the wrong action group and turned off the jet engines rather than turning on the rocket engines. And for some reason, I don't know if this triggered something or if this is just what would have happened anyway. The aircraft is very unstable. It's wobbling all over the place. But at least this time we have a decent speed. We're above Mach 2. And now the jet engines are helping us. Oh no, okay. I think we lost it. Cannot. Well, we're not gonna go to space today at least. But can we save it? No, it's not even worth bothering. Maybe it was the temporary drop in speed and spike in drag that caused the oscillations. So let's try again, and maybe I won't screw everything up this time. Just going to fast forward until the interesting parts, which is when we are trying to switch from air to space again. So I have memorized the action group this time. So let's see how this goes. We are picking up speed, making Mach 2. Yes, we are climbing a fair rate, and we have the jet engines to help us along for a while. And it's getting unstable, but we are keeping our heading. Let's see how this goes. We are fairly high up. So let's turn off the jet engines. Let's turn off both actually, because I saw only one of them turn off when I pushed the key. That's symmetry for you. But fortunately they were producing so little thrust that it didn't really matter that we had one running at full power and the other one turned off. Okay, so we are exiting the atmosphere, getting at apoapse height. And there we go. Good. And now we need to circularize. Start by putting up a maneuver node and finding out what we need again. Very much delta V. But this time we learned that it's no good to wait. We need to start burning directly. And I do. So, well, we're not going to get to orbit this time because I have less fuel than last time. And yeah. But we'll see how far we go. How far we get. And how much did we need? 130. So we're 130 meters per second short of an SSTO. So, when I said I was thinking about a total redesign, this is something of what I had in mind. This is, yeah, well, you can't not call it a total redesign, can you? It's got the skeleton, but it's nothing of anything else. So, okay. And it doesn't have the structural integrity you could wish to find in an aircraft of this type. Well, this is pretty. Let's try it again and not disintegrate on takeoff, shall we? Okay. Turning the engine on and accelerating, not turning on the afterburners this time. We saw how that turned out last time. Yeah, so I'm thinking this wing design, maybe it can work. I mean, it can't be worse. Well, yeah, we saw just a few seconds ago that it could be very much worse than the previous designs. But I mean, yeah, it's just Jebediah. He's immortal. We can try this however many times we want. And worst case scenario, it actually works. And so far it flies like any other aircraft. We see how it behaves when we get up to these conditions. And we see that it behaves very poorly because we're pulling back full at the stick and we're going down slightly. And this is very bad, and well, now we're very unstable as well. So I'm not feeling the space right now, but we are managing to slowly turn it back up, and it actually stabilizes at higher marks. So now we're actually going in the right direction and at the right speed. So well, we'll see how it goes. I think this design should be slightly lighter than the delta wing designs we had previously, but we'll see how far it goes. And, okay, we still have the side slip problems. Okay, so we apparently drifted a bit of course, but it doesn't matter. We're getting a good apoapsis height here. We have maybe used too much fuel already. Yeah, well, probably not going to get to orbit, but we'll see. Maybe it's a lighter aircraft. So start burning the circularization burn as soon as we know how much we need to burn. And we just see how far it goes. Said see how far it goes very many times this episode. But there we go. How much delta were we short? A bit. Okay, so having given up on the spacecrafts, let's try something else. Something completely different. This is an aircraft I designed around the very small jet engine that comes with the realistic or advanced jet engines mod. So I thought, how can you design an aircraft around a very small engine? And the answer, of course, is to have a very small aircraft. So this is what I came up with. I call it the Drunken Fly, because it flies like a drunk. So first you saw it has a bicycle landing gear. The tricycle landing gear is quite common. The bicycle landing gear is significantly less common, and for a very good reason, because it's almost impossible to get a clean takeoff. You know, the support legs is completely necessary for it to stand up on its own. But it flies surprisingly well. I suppose this is because it is a very light aircraft, and it has a relatively large wing area for such a small craft. I mean, the engine isn't particularly powerful, but the entire thing weighs, I think it weighs like half a ton. Those are Oscar B fuel tanks that I have drained of oxidizer. So we're just doing some flight tests of this thing. You saw it can maneuver pretty well, pulling 15 Gs in the turns. And now we're just gonna try see how fast it goes at high altitudes. And just using one of the scoops and the engine, so with 2.1 kilonewtons. That's very little thrust. But as I said, it's keeping airborne by large wings and high speed. So yeah, we're increasing 2.2 kilonewtons, 2.3 kilonewtons. So we're accelerating, and we are indeed approaching the sound barrier. Mach 1. Look at that. Yeah, and we're getting some instability because of the breaking of the sound barrier. So I'm just gonna try and balance it out, maybe make it a bit more stable, but of course it won't help because you're always gonna face turbulence when crossing into supersonic flight. So, having broken Mach 1, we might as well go home. So after executing one of those nice tight turns, we are just gonna do some level flight. And then, well, we can get up to very high speed. We can break the sound barrier on this very much lower altitude. Yeah, we're cruising at supersonic speeds at 5-6 kilometers. The first time we broke the sound barrier, we were at like 11. So that's a significant difference in air resistance. So we're going to try and land this thing, and I genuinely don't think this is going to work. I mean, look at how unstable this is, and this is with fine controls. And we're gonna have to balance it on 2 wheels like a bike. And we're gonna have to keep it balanced on the runway until it's got a speed low enough to put down the support gears. And besides, we're traveling at Mach 0.6 coming in for landing. So, well, at least we're gonna see some pretty explosions, right? That's what KSP is for. So, okay, we need to keep losing speed and altitude. Okay, yeah, just look at this thing. Okay, runway coming up, and we're a bit off, but we can save it. We can save it. And come on, pat down. Okay, brake. Don't fall over. Well, as long as we keep speed up, we won't fall over. Okay, and we need to turn. Oh yeah. Slow down. Okay, end of the runway. Nah, come on, put the gear down. Ah, no! Oh, hey, look. Hey. I would say that's at least 50% of the parts not exploded. And since there's no one on board, any landing you can walk away from, this would count as one of those, right? So that's a successful landing. Yeah, sure. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you again next week. Goodbye!